Hello, I did my project over jazz during the Roaring Twenties. I decided to make mini projects and combine them in one video. I hope you enjoy it. Starting with the significant people of jazz. I recreated their portraits in Minecraft using a wide variety of blocks. Starting with Joseph King Oliver. He was born in New Orleans in 1885. He would become an important figure during the Jazz Age. Oliver originally played but switched to the trumpet while he was a kid. Oliver formed his own jazz band in Chicago in 1918. He would eventually hire Louis Armstrong to do his band. His jazz band was one of the first bands to hit it big with tons of people listening to their music. Joseph Oliver, instead of being known for great solo music like Louis, he was famous for adding effects to the trumpet. Moving on to Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong is probably one of the most influential jazz musicians ever. He was born in Louisiana in 1901 and eventually saved enough money to buy a cornet. In 1922, King Oliver wanted Armstrong to join his band, and together they made big hits. In 1925, Armstrong left the band and returned to Chicago to make records under his own name. He began making jazz music solo, and it turned out to be a giant success. He would change jazz from ensemble music to a soloist's art. He would go to have a very successful and influential life in jazz. Going on to Eddie Lang. He was born in Philadelphia in 1902. While he was a kid, he began playing the violin and eventually switched to guitar. He moved to New York City in 1924, where he played in dance bands. He quickly became very popular with the way he played the guitar. He would go on and play with many other bands, including King Oliver's band. He was very well known for his amazing technique in his solo music. He would affect jazz as he was one of the first guitar soloists in jazz and changed how people played the guitar. Moving on to some significant places during the period. Apollo Theater. The Apollo Theater was a very big nightclub during the 20s. The Apollo Theater helped make jazz widely known as it was bigger than the Cotton Club. Many popular jazz players would play here, including Sam Cooke, Lena Horne, and others. Another very significant place during the 20s was the Cotton Club. The Cotton Club would become one of the most popular nightclubs. In 1920, the Cotton Club was built and opened to the public. The Cotton Club was one of the most popular and most influential clubs on jazz. Many popular jazz players played at the club, including Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Ethel Walters, and many more. The Cotton Club helped make jazz very popular and expose large audiences to jazz. How did jazz change the American culture? Well, the introduction of jazz really changed how people had a good time and celebrated with their friends. Jazz also influenced traditional music, introducing new techniques on how to play and write music. Jazz also changed how people viewed African Americans and helped them fight for civil rights and more freedoms down the line. Moving on to something different, I made my own jazz song using rhythms from the 20s. How is jazz still relevant today? Jazz today is still very popular and relevant. New jazz music that comes out today still uses effects and rhythms from the 1920s. Jazz music is still played in venues and many people enjoy jazz, including myself. Jazz still stands as a black culture and many people are proud of that. Jazz is also played a lot in bands, like most schools have jazz bands. Little bonus, here are some popular songs that are made in the 20s. Number 1, Ain't Misbehaving. Number 2, Dark Was the Night. 3, West End Blues. 4, Willie the Weeper. And 5, Downhearted Blues. I also have a Works Cited page. I hoped watching this video/project you learned something new and cool about jazz. I hope you have another listen to jazz, and it is really something special. That's it. Bye.